Friends, how are you doing? Congratulations, you've made it another crazy week in the market, and we survived. And I would say some people did well in the market this week. Some people, who knows what's going on, but let's talk about it. So, with what we were left with this week, Monday to Friday. Monday obviously looked like things were, Tuesday. I mean, we were having some rough days there. Now ending the week, things are looking better. Is better a good enough word there? We'll say better. One thing that was insanely shocking today, and we're just going to take it for what it is. We've had these job reports come out. They've been shockingly okay. Inflation rate came out today, 2.4. 2.4, lower than expected. Shocking. So it helped the market close out today here, and Dow jumped 600 points. So the biggest problem that we have right now is, can these two fellas right here work out a deal? Can they? I don't know. I don't know if they can. It's going to be, Trump is saying that, China wants to make a deal. We're not really hearing that on their side. So I don't know. Obviously, if we put these huge tariffs on them, they're saying they're not going to back down, and we're going to see what happens here. But that right there should put you in the mindset of, do not trust this market. We've got inflation better, as they're saying. We've got job reports doing pretty good, but this is still not a safe market. But there are ways to make lots of money in this market, and we're going to talk about that. Absolutely. So let's go right into SoFi. I may mention a few other things here, but obviously, I'll be talking this weekend more and running my mouth about stocks. So, like I said, friends, I hope you had a wonderful week and going to bleed into the weekend here. And, it's just, I'm excited for what's coming next week. I love dramatic stock markets. I love what's going on with this up and down situation right now, because long term, I know it's coming. In this moment of just uncertainty, highs and lows here in the market, there is a lot of room to really build some great positions. So with that SoFi right now, SoFi, what do we look, I made this terrible line, where this red line where you were able to buy, sell. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm holding SoFi for the long run, for long term here. I think it's a great opportunity for a long hold here, but I am trading it back and forth right now. Large sums of SoFi, where I am selling massive amounts. Buy on a Monday. I sold it on a Wednesday, and that Wednesday was when Trump let go of the tariffs, and obviously we're pushed back till July, as we know right now. And then even, after that, bought back in, and I sold another little position today in it. So, I'm just building, I'm doing this with a lot of stocks, but, SoFi especially, it's such a situation right now where the market is allowing you to do this. Like I've said, this isn't a market that's going to get away from you. You shouldn't have that fear in your head right now that, like, oh, what if the market, just starts running right back up to where we were, 5 weeks ago. This is not that kind of market, and obviously there's a lot of different flavors of what's going on out there. I listened to Tom Lee today. Tom Lee was very still optimistic that, if we can get these tariffs to calm down, all this to calm down, that the market will probably start building into, some solid position here, solid ground. And then you got like Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon came out today and said bluntly, I think we're in a small recession. I think we are in a recession right now. So, I mean, you've got all kinds of flavors out there of what's happening, what's going to happen. And, it's just with these moments in the market, if the market can at least stay where it's at to a point, you are able, it's not just SoFi where you're able to do this. You're able to do this with a lot of stocks right now, to where you're able to, sell high, buy low. I said this before, and, this is kind of what I thought was going to happen with the Trump stock market. Not in the sense of like these tariffs, but I remember even when Trump, his first run as president, I remember the Trump, markets where Trump, essentially, we weren't going through what we're going through right now with tariffs, but we, Trump would just kind of control the market. He would kind of control the market. The market, I would almost say, like, everyone's market right now in the world is being controlled by one guy here. Trump is famous for tweeting, saying things about the market, and the market shoots up. He'll say negative, he'll say positive, and this is why it's so important. As crazy as this may sound, and you can feel ever how you want about this with wherever you are with it, but it might, whether you like the guy, it might do you well to kind of follow him and what he says on an hour by hour, day to day basis, because Wednesday when Trump released that that tweet, whatever we want to call it, on True Social, telling people, hey, you should buy now, and then we had the tariff situation be pushed back. The market shot up unbelievably, and that, like I said, that's when I sold a huge positions, because I knew, I was like, oh my god, like we may not see these numbers again for a minute. So I think this is generally going to be the flavor of the market here, probably till Lord knows when. I mean, this could go on until July when we see this tariff situation come back up. I mean, it could. But I would look at that as a moment of good. Listen, this is the best case scenario at this point, where the market is so just up and down. We could be in a recession, more like a real full blown out, like, oh my God, the market. We're not seeing that right now. I don't think this, of course, I'm little me here, and I'm, going against Jamie, but, to me, this is a moment of you're able to really build some positions. You're really able to day trade, short trade, buy on a Monday, sell on a Thursday, Wednesday, or even the next day. I'm going to repeat the process next week. I'm going to do it. So with that, SoFi here, like I said, SoFi, I'm pretty much using as an example here. One thing that I will do here in the next 2 weeks, probably, somewhere towards the end of April, I will solidify a strong position in SoFi, because when they come out with these quarterlies here in May, I expect these quarterlies to be really well. I expect this could be the one quarterly that SoFi needs to hit $1 billion. This could be the one. Now, if it does that, it's going to be tremendous for SoFi. Absolutely, 100%. So with that, you have 18 days before this happens. You probably have around 12 to 15 days in obviously in those, divided with trading days. So not a lot. But you're able to really do this right now. And I'm going to be honest, now I'll probably, if the market is still doing what we're doing right now, I'll probably, like I said, just repeat this situation into May, where I'm just buying, selling. I always do this, but this is the most aggressive I've been doing it, because the market is so just fluctuating up and down right now, where it's allowing people to do this. And I know a lot of you are doing it, because I'm talking to people, people are commenting, saying what they're doing. It's probably the smartest bet right now. Like I said, this market's not going to get away from you. I mean, the only outcome I could see for the market just like going back to normal highs of where we were, over a month ago, before all this tariff stuff really kicked in, is if, this weekend or next week, China and, us, we work out a deal, and, everyone's happy, friend. It's a messy situation at this point, so I don't see that happening. What I do see happening is this kind of just lingering on here and making the market very unsafe. But like I said, there's money to be made in that situation right now. So friends, just because I'm saying this about SoFi, I am heavily encouraged about SoFi the rest of this year. I am heavily building positions in SoFi right now. I honestly think, we're going into May here, and May undoubtedly is going to bring a lot of, it's earnings season, okay? We're going into earnings season here just in 3 weeks here. So with that situation, we could see the market somewhat rally here. The market could do very well here. But with that, don't be naive to think that people are going to hold positions all of May May and all of June. People are going to start being a lot more ruthless in this market. They're going to take profit. They're going to build positions, but you're probably going to see a lot of positions not be held. If we can get SoFi within these 18 days before quarterlies to hold this $10 to $11, $12 position, we could see SoFi build its way into, $15 to $16 again here going into quarterlies, and with a good quarterly, obviously, like a really, really nice one. Now, will SoFi, let's just say something crazy. Let's just say, May 5th, SoFi comes out with banging quarterlies. Oh my God, we hit $1 billion. And SoFi goes to like $17, $16, maybe $18 for a moment there. Okay. It's possible. We've seen crazy things like that happen. It was doing it just not long ago. Okay. So with that, do I think SoFi will sustain those high teen numbers? Probably not. Probably not, because of the market. It doesn't mean that I'm saying anything negative against SoFi. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't think we're going to see a lot of companies that are even doing well, like SoFi, hold high positions that it hasn't really held before for a long time. Now, could SoFi find a new bottom here? Could maybe, on a really bad day in the market, what we saw Monday, could the new low be $10, $11? Yeah, sure. Why not? And the new high be somewhere around $13 to $14? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So that's why these next 2 weeks, make positions, but it is very important to make sure you're leaving meat on the bone. So when we get into May here and see this quarterly, if you're selling it and taking profit, you're going to have a nice little chunk of change there, to build more position on it. So that's pretty much what's going on in my head right now with a lot of plays. SoFi, as I said, just being an example. But, long term here, I'm obviously going to be holding SoFi. I think SoFi is going to be a beast of a company here in the next 5-10 years, especially next year if we can get this market somewhat under control. Woo, man, SoFi could be in running on $1 billion quarterlies plus. It's going to be a great situation for SoFi. And you got Palantir. Palantir, same day. May 5th is going to be a busy day. Palantir to release quarterlies, and man, you want to talk about more aggressive trading, more just like such wiggle room from a Monday to a Friday to make sales. Oh my God, what a week that people, I know people make crazy money this week in the market, short trading, option trading, all that. Palantir here, Palantir is right in the same boat as SoFi, where I look at that and I go like they could 100% hit this $1 billion quarterly. If you're holding SoFi and Palantir on May 5th, man, yeah. This is going to be a really fundamental moment for a lot of investors in May here, because I know a lot of people, they've been buying Palantir, they've been buying SoFi together. They've been buying both these stocks together. Completely different companies, completely white and black, red and blue situation of what's going on here with these two companies. When it comes to what's about to happen with their quarterlies, man. And listen, if you're looking at the charts right now, you're going like, well, how is Palantir about to make $1 billion quarterly for the first time, and how is SoFi about to make $1 billion $1 billion quarterly for the first time? But why is SoFi almost $100 a share, and why is SoFi struggling to keep $10 a share? The best thing that I can say to that right now, just like bullet point answer to cut to the chase here, you have SoFi, who is not as sexy and sleek as a company, in the sense of SoFi, bread and butter of it, the bones of the company, it's a bank. Now with that, for me as an investor, and maybe you, SoFi is amazing. SoFi is fierce competition for banks out there right now. There's a reason why SoFi is growing so fast. They got it going on. Okay, I look at SoFi and I go like, man, this is so exciting. What's going to happen here with this company in the future? Okay, they're killing it right now. Okay, but yes, the bare bones of it, it's a bank. Okay, it's a bank. And SoFi hasn't been doing exactly what Palantir's been doing. In the last two quarterlies were really good, don't get me wrong, especially the last one. But, flipping over to the book of Palantir, with their quarterlies, there's a lot more going on in the sense of Palantir has been, every quarterly, from the beginning of last year to, what we saw at the end of last year here, Q4, they were going from 15, 25, 30, and almost 40% on top of each quarterly. Just incredible growth. I mean, just like, what the crap? Like, and this is why people, this is why you're having to pay such a high price right now for Palantir, because people are looking at this Q1 that's coming out here in May, and they're going, oh, man, what if they do it again? What if they hit another 35% on top of the last quarterly? What if they make it into the 40s? What if they do it like over 40% of what they did last time? So this is why the expectation is very high on Palantir, and it's going to be, this is going to be a big, big moment for Palantir. Both companies, absolutely 100%. So, but with that, obviously next week there's money to be made with both these companies, these shares, these stocks. I do say, have it in the back of your mind that, don't let FOMO and fear eat you alive, where you go like, the market, what if it runs away? What if Monday comes out and Trump's like, what if Trump says something good again, and it shoots up the market and like Palantir runs at like $95. What do you think people are going to do? People are going to buy it at $95. But what have we learned? What are the lessons learned so far? What we've learned here? What's going on? We've learned that don't buy the highs. Do not buy these highs right now, okay? Because the next day could bring fear and loathing, and you will be bag holding, okay? This market right now is take profit, build positions, obviously, but and this is not usually my rhetoric. This is usually not what I'm saying. I build positions with new capital. Sure, I sell here and there. I do. I don't talk about it a lot, but I do. But I am doing it a lot more aggressive right now because it's so easy to do it on such monstrous levels right now, from a Monday through a Friday in this market. And next week will probably be no different. I've got to be completely honest. This is going to sound ruthless and mean, and I get it. But Monday, if the market crashes again, I'm going to go, oh yeah. Because guess what? I'm locked and loaded, ready to go Monday if this market crashes, okay? I am going to buy up some dips, okay? Because I know somewhere next week, the market will straighten out. It's not going to go Monday through Friday free falling to hell. There's no way. Okay, I know somewhere, even when it just pulls up a little bit somewhere next week, I'll make money. I'll make profit. I'll throw it back in there. So I'm repeating this process quite a bit. Friends, I'm going to shut up. I wish all of you best of luck. Thank you so much for listening to me yap. Listen. Stay focused on what you know to be true in this market, okay? It's not going to run away from you. It is going to be... We've got some time here before we get to July. And I do suspect that, May here will bring some pretty nice numbers in the market. So nice, in fact, that people are going to go, wow, everything's great in the market. Why were we even worrying? These tariffs aren't that big of a deal. People are going to change their mind 100%. And then we're going to get in June. It's going to be kind of that flavor too. And then we're going to get closer towards the end of June. And then we're going to hear, oh yeah, those tariffs are coming back up. And then people are going to start, we may just, what we just went through last week and this week, we may just go right back through it in July, okay? If we do, guess what? We already know the playbook, okay? Get the hell out of Dodge before we get to July, okay? So you can be clear, have a clear path, have money, capital, and you're ready to go. Because guess what? The market will do the same thing in July, 100%. But until then, I'm going to make money. I'm gonna play this market. I'm gonna be ruthless with it, because the market has been ruthless with us. No mercy in this market right now, friends. I wish you all the best of luck. Take care. Bye bye.